podcast for those who suffer, which is everyone.
It's a space where we can speak honestly about what it feels like to be in desolate places without losing hope.
Welcome to In the Thicket. After a fruitful and eventful summer, friends, we are back for the third season of In the Thicket. We're excited to take you along for the ride with us. This episode is just a way to touch base so we can let you know about the things that have been happening for us over the summer and to set the stage for what will surely be a very blessed season that we're excited to share with you. God bless. Welcome back, Thicketeers!
Wow,
You guys, season 3, isn't that wild?
Season 3, who'da thunk
like
it,
we've been doing this for a little while now, you know?
I know. It's very exciting to be back. I was just saying to these ladies before we started recording how much I miss your faces. Like just seeing regularly, having conversations regularly, you know? But it's even just the seeing of the faces. I'm like, it's just comforting.
It is lovely. It is lovely. So basically this podcast is an excuse for us to hang out.
That's right. Exactly. And it just so happens that we have, can I also just say, a big thank you. This is a shout out to all of our listeners, those who we know. And actually, a lot of people are starting to listen that we don't know. Like we'll meet some people.
Before it was just like our moms. No.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. But we surpassed this summer the 10,000 download mark.
Yeah.
Download/YouTube view. Yeah, we actually surpassed it, and now it's more than 12,000, which is
crazy.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny is I don't necessarily tell people that I do this podcast. I'm like, it's not really, because it's on suffering. So when I'm like,
Rachel.
I know, I'm sorry. But like, if you're at a party, I'm not like, listen, guys, I gotta tell you something. This project I'm doing a podcast. And every time, I have tried it before, and every time I say that, people are like, oh, that's so cool. What's it on? I'm like, well, it's on suffering. And they're like,
it's true.
Oh,
it's true. There is no other reaction.
Yeah.
Actually, you know, like, what do you do? What are your hobbies? Like, oh yeah, actually I have a podcast. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. What's it about? Well, it's about suffering.
It's about the intensity of human suffering and how one can unite themselves to the Lord.
People don't usually have very much to say after that. You know?
I don't blame them. Like, I don't know what I would say to somebody. Right, exactly. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because I'm just mind boggled that people have been listening, because it isn't something that I'm always sharing with people that I meet. Not because I don't want to. I love our podcast, but it just doesn't come up in the right context that often. So it's just a gift that people are tuning in, and
it really this is good. So we can ask anybody who's listening now if there's anything that you say when you are recommending the podcast to somebody.
Yeah, so you can teach us.
Help us out.
Help us out with the self-promotion aspects of it.
Well, and maybe we can just quickly introduce ourselves here for
that is a great idea.
Or returning listeners who are trying to distinguish between our voices, you know?
Right.
All right, you go first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hi, everybody. My name is Nicole Richard Williams. I am a music therapy professor. I'm living in Nashville, Tennessee, and I've known these ladies for varying amounts of time. Erin and I met in, I'm not, she's going to introduce herself, but anyways, I won't say too much. That's me. That's all.
Rachel.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm Rachel. And I feel like every year that we do the podcast, I have the same opener, which is I'm so mentally frazzled right now because I've been moving again a ton. So I moved from Toronto area in Canada to DC, Washington, DC, USA, which is kind of nuts. They're very different, and it's very exciting.
It's true.
I'm doing, just starting my PhD at the JP2 Institute for Studies on Marriage and the Family.
Nice.
At the CUA. So woo-hoo! I've been here 6 days, and it's been great.
Nice.
It's been really great so far.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And I'm Erin Kinsella. I'm a consecrated virgin of the Archdiocese of Toronto, but I'm currently living in Ottawa and doing some writing on suffering, which I also wrote my thesis on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, Nicole and I have known each other since I worked in Winnipeg, which was like a decade, well, more than a decade ago now.
More, yeah.
Crazy.
Because I was a teenager. This is like 15, 16, 17 years ago, probably.
Wow.
So
that's nuts.
Wild,
and then
right?
Rachel and I have known each other since I was working at the Newman Center, which is a Catholic chaplaincy at U of T. And so we met while I was working at Newman.
U of T is University of Toronto.
That's right.
Guess
not
what?
University of Toledo.
Or like of Tennessee.
Or Texas. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So University of Toronto. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so this is we're going to take a couple minutes and just say, like, where are you today, ladies? Because we're going to go over in this episode just what's kind of our high and low of the summer as a way of kind of coming back into this space and talking a little bit about what the Lord's been doing, and just to give you an update before we launch into the very exciting season that we have that we will tell you about later. But we thought it would be fun to say, where are you today? What was your today like, ladies?
I can start, I guess. So in DC, it is very hot right now and very humid. Like, it's pretty humid in Ontario, in Canada right now, but I don't think I've experienced this level of humidity maybe ever before. It's so humid. So it's kind of like you're standing outside. We were at a barbecue the other day, a bunch of the students in my program, and one of the other girls from California and I were talking. We were like, it's just sort of like after 5 minutes of standing outside, you're just sticky. Like, all of a sudden, you're just sticky, and you're like, okay. That's where we're at. So today I've been trying to settle in a little bit more. I've only been here 6 days, and it's just been a very sticky settling in. But It's been good. I'm very grateful. God's been helping me out. So,
nice. Yeah. Like, you brush up against your furniture and your arm just sticks to it.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Kind of like you give someone a hug and it's like you have to peel off.
Right.
I just don't. I literally don't give hugs right now. I'm like, nope, don't hug me, guys. I love hugs, but I can't. Yeah.
I hate sticky things. That's gross.
I have a blanket that I brought with me that is still in my car because I can't bring myself to put it in my room because I can't look at a blanket right now. It's so hot.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to come visit you in the wintertime. Okay. So, how are you, Nicole?
Good. Actually, no, I'm not actually that. I'm medium. I don't know. Okay, so today basically, I'm sick. I'm sick today. Yesterday I had a little bit of a cold, but I still taught. I went in and just wore a mask and told the students that, I don't have COVID. I tested, whatever, just trying to protect them. Morning, same thing. I had 3 classes to teach. I taught my first 2 classes, and after the first 2 classes, I was just like, I think I have a fever. I don't feel good, so I canceled my 3rd class, which I hate doing. And I came home, and sure enough, my fever kind of spiked, and I started, like, when you sort of have like weird dreams and weird thoughts, and you're like, oh, I'm totally fine and totally normal, and then you're just like saying random stuff out loud randomly, and anyways, so then I texted my sister who's a nurse and was like, this is my temperature, what should I do? And she was just like, take a Tylenol. So I did, and I feel better.
Yeah.
Now I feel okay enough to do this recording tonight. Yeah.
Which we were saying, we were like, okay, if we start, we'll try it out and see how you're feeling, because if you start saying nonsense or like randomly interjecting with like, guys, 4 Bs is good. Like, what are you
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this episode of, like, I know, I don't even know where I'm getting this stuff from. Maybe I'm hallucinating and maybe possible. But have you ever seen that episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Jake and Captain Holt get the mumps? Colonel Holt. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
If you have not seen that episode, dear listener, it is hilarious because they're both like hallucinating. And the best is when they're like, because they're thinking about this case, solving this case, and when one of the other detectives comes to visit them, and Captain Holt is at the window, and he's like drawing stuff on the window, and he's just drawing the word case over and over and over, and then he just turns, he's like, case. It's ridiculous. Anyways,
I watched, this is now getting off on a tangent, but let's go on this tangent.
Sure. Yes,
okay.
Let's go.
I watched that episode, I think, with Nathan, like during COVID, and both of us were sitting there, and then we just started analyzing. We're like, that's not really quarantine. They're not wearing masks. That's less than 6 feet away. Like, we started just critiquing, because there's one point where they're quarantining in the house, and then someone like comes in to take care, and we're like, she's contaminated now. This is not a true quarantine. That's right. We know.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
It's really funny to watch.
Except for she is fully vaccinated, so gained some mumps. So
that's true. That's true. Okay.
Listen, we're going to do another episode on that around the virological insights of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right.
Specifically,
amazing.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. But for this episode in particular, what we're going to talk about is
is just kind of what our summer has looked like the highs of things. If there are any lows that we've experienced during the summer, just catch up with everybody before we head into the season.
Erin, how was your day?
Oh, my day. Oh,
yeah.
I almost forgot. This is fun. I kind of don't want to share it because you guys are sticky and hallucinating, but my day was awesome. I got to go and have supper with the bishop and the other consecrated virgins in Ottawa, which was sweet. So we had yummy food. We prayed evening prayer together, which is always a gift to pray with other people, especially when you're a consecrated virgin, because that means you're often praying it by yourself. So it's like a nice thing to pray with other people. And then I went home, and on the way, I stopped at Starbucks because guess what day is today? It's Pumpkin Spice Day. That's right.
I was like, it's not your birthday. I was so confused.
Yeah, right.
It's not. It's Pumpkin Spice Day. So I don't know if that's the same in Canada or the States, but I do like a nice pumpkin spice latte.
Is it cooling off in Canada? Here we are talking about the weather again.
Yeah, I know.
Canada.
We are Canadian.
All of us are Canadian.
This is the Canadian thing to do. You just like legit. You know how people have small talk when they talk about the weather? It's just legitimately not small talk when Canadians talk about the weather.
No, we're just actually concerned about the weather. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Yeah. No, it was crazy. I was driving back from the States yesterday because I was actually at Smuggler's Notch Resort with some friends, which was amazing. And I got caught in, it was the heaviest rain I've ever driven in my life. It was so bad that I almost had to pull over, and I never pull over for anything. So, possibly to the point of maybe I should rethink these decisions. But anyways, but it was like crazy. And then you could look off in the distance where the clouds ended, and you could just see these sheets of stuff coming down. It was nuts. So it's been humid and hot. Today was pretty warm, and we're having thunderstorms for the next few days. So still hot. It's definitely not sweater weather or
I was going to say pumpkin spice doesn't sound to me that great
it's a little premature. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely it is. Yeah. So that's okay. I'm okay with that. I will be delusional, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. That's totally fair.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You are allowed to love pumpkin spice day. That's
good.
That's true.
All right. Well,
also we should just I just wanted to mention, you may hear some lovely ambient sounds through this episode. We're just working through some tech things, so today you get some bonus sounns.
Yes, welcome to season 3.
Yeah.
That's thanks to me. I will own that. Yeah.
No. Listen, you moved a whole house. You don't have to own anything. It is Rachel's computer fan. That's what the noise is.
It is actually my computer fan. It's an old computer, and people that I know are going to make a lot of fun of me when they hear this because people have been telling me to get a new computer for a long time. But computers are expensive, people, and grad students don't have money. So
that's right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully this will get resolved eventually. But
so if you want to buy Rachel a computer, if you're just feeling
if you are a donor who is
it would be great for her PhD. Maybe a MacBook. Yes. Yeah, totally.
That's awesome.
Bring it on. I'm totally open for any and all of that.
Nice. Anyway. Okay. Well, right. Listen. So we're moving in there. Rach, I'm just going to turn it back to you then, because we're coming from you. So I would love to hear what, if you had to kind of take the things of this summer since ending last season, what would be like a high and a low for you heading into this season?
Okay. So I think I have the same thing that's both a high and a low for me. So basically, people who have listened to previous seasons of ours may know that lots of changes have been happening in my personal life and my family. So both my siblings got married in the last year and a half. I have a beautiful nephew who I'm super in love with. And all these wonderful things have happened. In the process of all that, I've also moved a ton. And all of those things have landed up making me feel sort of kind of a bit of a nomad, vagabond, untethered person.
Hillbilly, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And not really knowing, which we've talked about in previous seasons, not really knowing, where do I fit and how does this all work? So I would say, that kind of clinched this summer for me because my parents are also going to be moving very shortly, actually, from Canada to Dallas, which is a big deal. So my home that I've kind of identify sort of as the most home that I've ever been in. I moved a lot as a kid as well, but that's sort of been home base for a long time. Isn't going to be home base anymore, and I really feel like in a way my parents are my home base, but I don't I don't associate a physical place with home anymore. And it's really exciting. Like, I'm really excited for my parents. It's doing my dad's job, and and my sister's in Dallas. So there's a lot of really good things about that I'm excited for. But for me on my own, I just was like, okay, this was sort of like God saying to me, right, I'm kind of taking away every permanent physical thing in your life that you can say is yours, and I want you to embrace me as like the only really permanent thing that you have. And like this, all my sort of stuff has been leading up to sort of this, but it really kind of came to a moment where I felt that kind of call from the Lord. And so that's my high, because it was really, really freeing to own that and just say, like, okay, like, Lord, I'm letting go, and I'm actually going to just be looking at you and walking with you, and like coming here to DC, and all of this, because I'm in my mid-30s, and it's sort of like nuts to not have anything permanent to hold on to in your mid-30s. I think I don't know, maybe that's premature, but like that's how I feel. And I have experienced an incredible amount of freedom, and also like a kind of an empowering sense. Like, the Lord has like given me so much grace to just sort of own this reality that is mine, and not be afraid. Like, I truly don't know, apart from my program, which hopefully I will progress in the normal way. But apart from that, I truly have no idea what the next 5 years holds for me. And I'll be kind of nearing 40 at the end of it. So it's like, I'm not looking too far ahead in a certain sense, but I just have abandoned that to the Lord. And I know that there will be hard things to come with that. Like, it's not over. The story's not over. I'm not like, yeah, I'm done. I've like reached some kind of like enlightenment or something, No, but I have made it up to a plateau where God has given me the gift of being able to look back and say, like, okay, God helped me do that. And looking up at the next mountain, I'm a little bit less afraid for some reason. Maybe that's foolish, but
that's beautiful.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's my low high kind of all in one.
Jumbled in together.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I can go after that, and then I'll turn it over to you, Nicole, and then you can also share some of the stuff coming up. But for me, I think the high this summer has been I felt kind of at the beginning of the summer like the Lord just arranged a bunch of things for me, because in the past couple of years there's been a lot of stuff going on with my family and with me that's just been hard, like really difficult, and so I've felt a little bit like I've been coming to the end of my rope in some ways. Like, I'm like stretched and feeling like about to rip in half, in like, that feeling where you're just like, okay, if anything else happens, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Either I'm going to kill someone, or I'm going to spontaneously combust, or something like that. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be bad for somebody, maybe me, maybe somebody else. So I was feeling a little bit like that. And then right from the beginning of the summer, the Lord was like I got to go to Toronto, and I got to stay at the seminary there with the Sisters of Life for a week. So I got to pray the Liturgy of the Hours with them for a week, which was lovely. And if anybody has met the Sisters of Life, like, they're just like little love bombs. So like, to be with them for the week was just such a gift. And then I got to be at some ordinations of some friends, like really good men being ordained to the diaconate. And then I got to go, I can't even remember where I went to go. Oh, so then next it was the wedding. So we traveled to Nicole's wedding in Winnipeg, which was amazing. And I got to travel with Rachel and our secret prayer partner. We drove from Toronto to Winnipeg in 2 days. So just for
explain. This is like a crazy.
It's an epic. It is
drive.
An epic. Yeah.
It's legit.
So it's going through kind of northern Canada, like up into northern Ontario a bit. So going from Toronto up through like Sudbury and kind of over down through Sault Ste. Marie and up to Thunder Bay. So that's 1 hour or 1 day. Sorry, 1 hour.
Not 1 hour.
Day of driving. We did it. It took us about 16 hours. So that was like day one from kind of Toronto.
And it was mostly Erin. Like, Erin drove like at least like.
I drove the whole time.
That time you did. Yeah, she drove all 16 hours.
And then which was great. But honestly, I love driving. Like I find it very like relaxing somehow. I don't know why. And then the next day we drove from there to Winnipeg, which was another 8 hours. So it's like a lot of driving, but we listened to podcasts. We like sang songs. We listened to Taylor Swift's albums that she put out during the pandemic, like over and over. It was great. So that was a real gift. And then to be able to be in Winnipeg and to see you get married, Nicole, like after, like if you were listening and you haven't listened to some of the episodes, check out Nicole's episode from last year where she's talking about patience, and she talks about kind of her relationship with Nathan and dating and those kind of things. So that'll give you some background. But so it was just beautiful. Like it was beautiful to be there with you guys.
And it was an Eastern Catholic, like rite, which was so cool. Like because I've grown up in the Latin rite, and I'd never seen like the crowning rite. I guess I don't know if I'm naming it correctly.
Yeah, the rite of crowning. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It's
so
unreal.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So again, if you haven't seen that before, Google it. I'm sure it's on on YouTube somewhere. You can see like a rite of crowning. It was unreal. And you looked so beautiful, Nicole. We'll put up a picture, but it was just gorgeous. So being able to do that, and then to travel, like we drove back to Toronto, and then I had a little bit of time here, and then I went somewhere else. Anyways, I can't even remember all the things that I did, but I also got to go away on a little vacation, and now I get to go this coming week on a silent retreat for 8 days, which I'm so excited for because I haven't done one since the one before my consecration because of COVID stuff. So I'm like, I feel like my soul is atrophying from not having silence. So that'll be amazing. So all of these things have been like just this gift to me from the Lord, like being like, yes, it's now you get to rest a little bit and do some things that are just like soul filling, which is a gift. And then kind of conversely, like the hard thing for me, I think, has been that I'm kind of declining in some of my abilities, even though I'm still like swimming every second day and things like that. Like I find that my flexibility is getting a little bit less in some things, or like even simple things. Like the morning. So for those who are not familiar, again, you can go back last year. I talked about my experience with fibromyalgia in one of the episodes, but in the morning, like I find it very hard to walk. Like it takes me a good while of being up to be able to like sit or walk without pain, to be able to like put my socks on or like dress myself. Like I'm having some challenges with those things, which is really humbling and like very scary in some ways, because I'm 42. Like I'm not 87 in a nursing home, and so that's like hard. That's been hard to kind of look at about what might happen in those areas. However, again, the Lord is good, because through my insurance provider, I'm going to be starting a program that's like physical therapy, occupational therapy, kinesiology. Like they just do a bunch of stuff because they want me to go back to work if I can, which is amazing. So like if it helps, that'll be great. But I think at the very least, it's going to provide me with some supports that I don't actually know even exist. So so that'll be good. So that's my good and my hard. How about you, Nicole?
Yeah. Well, as these ladies mentioned, I got married this summer, and that was just such a wonderful, beautiful time. And it's just been something where I'm like, I keep reflecting on this journey that I've been on of trying to understand my vocation, and so much anxiety, even from the time I was young, of trying to figure out, well, what does God want me to do? And then realizing that there's some, getting in touch with my own desires and how God is leading me through that, and just all of the different parts. And all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, I'm married now. Like today is 1 month since we've been married, and just
wow, right.
Like, yeah. And like, it's just kind of wild, and there's just been so much peace and happiness, being married, and just so much joy with that. It's incredible. Like, it's just such a gift. And so, that's definitely my my high. It's just this kind. It feels
I'm glad
like
that was your high as opposed to like the other. So my high is I found a real great deal on Pepsi at the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, right.
Got married.
No, exactly. So no, it's been wonderful.
That's amazing.
It just felt like the most normal and natural thing in the world. And also sometimes I'm like, I'll be talking to girls that I know who are single, and they're talking about like just the angst and stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I totally feel you. And then I'm like, Nicole, like, back it off, like, you are literally married, you know. But there's still so much I remember that, but it's getting used to being like, oh wow, I'm actually in this different like place, and what a gift that is, you know? That's been really wonderful. I think I'm trying to think of a low. It's actually hard to think of one besides being like sick today.
You're sick. I was like, you're sick.
Yeah. No, I think it's been, you know, with all of the wedding stuff, like there was a lot of travel. You know, we had to fly up to Winnipeg. We got stuck in Montreal on the way there. We got stuck in Toronto on the way back. Whoa. So it was just a lot of days of travel. And then we went up to Vermont for our honeymoon, which was wonderful, but it was more travel. And then literally we got back from the honeymoon Monday evening, and then Tuesday morning at 8 I was back at work, like getting courses ready.
Oh gosh.
And so it sort of felt like, and maybe this is why I finally like got sick, is because it's felt like a marathon of just going and going, and then trying to like continue working on PhD stuff, you know, on top of that, and stuff. So it feels like a lot, but at the same time it's just, I don't know. Sometimes you get so many things on your plate, you're like, well,
yeah,
that's right.
Yes, it'll work out.
Ride or die. Just ride or die.
You don't have like the mental capacity to worry about every single thing anymore. So you just do what you can, you know. And it's been happening. So it's just been like that. But it's honestly it's quantity of good things and blessings of being able to travel and all of that those are, you know, that's the closest I can get to a low, which is still blessings, you know.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah.
And I mean, and this is also like the gift of having this podcast is too, that we get to like see the things that the Lord is doing in our lives and be able to even share them with people, which is a gift in itself, really, being able to tell other people how the Lord works in your life in a, like, through a platform like this is actually a huge blessing. And it's fun to look back, you know, like 3 years ago. This is our third season. So I guess 2 years ago from now, when we were getting ready to launch our first episode, like our lives all looked very different.
Oh my gosh.
Than they did, you know, like I was
very different.
We're still working full time. I had just been consecrated. Was I just consecrated? Yeah, I was just consecrated.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You were, yeah.
Yep. Rach, you were still doing your degree stuff and working.
Yeah. I was working I think I was working in campus ministry at that time. I was working in campus ministry at that time. Yeah. Full time.
Yeah.
Because we started this, I'm trying to remember,
during
the fall of 2020.
Yeah, the fall of 2020. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Finishing up my master's. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then Nicole, you were still
I was just in grad school.
Full-time students. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
and
dating
Nathan. Yep. Yeah. I know. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to see. So I am really excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited for even this season, because when we were brainstorming some ideas for things to do, it was one of those things, like we're going to have a meeting, you know, to think about what, you know, stuff we were going to do. And it was one of those things of like, we had set aside a specific amount of time for it, and we only used like half the time that we had allotted for it, because things were just like, we're like, so, and it seemed like there was such an ease with putting things together that, you know, when the Lord is just like, when things that just can't be that easy are that easy, it's like you just feel him there in this way that's like, yes, I'm setting things up to do some amazing things.
Yeah, when the 1.5 hour Zoom meeting you planned is only 45 minutes, you know that's God.
Yeah, you know that's God. That's right. You're like,
that's
wow.
Right. That's right. It's either God or your internet is cut out, but our internet is fine, so it's good. Yeah.
Which was God that our internet was fine, because sometimes, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were going to see if Nicole is going to share with us just a few of the topics that are coming up.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a few little previews, you guys. there's lots more topics in this, but we'll just give you a little taste. So one of the things that we want to talk about is church politics, because if anybody has ever, and to be honest, I haven't experienced a lot of this because I have not worked in a church in the same way that like Aaron and Rachel have, but so they're kind of
both of us are like pursed lips,
their faces right now.
But like, also want to say that that episode is not just gonna be like us dishing on specific people or anything.
In this diocese and this thing, this person was a heathen.
Right. No, but more just about the reality of like, okay, we're supposed to be this church that's unity and love and all of this stuff, and then we have all of this crap happening. So what's with that? So that's the topic we're going to talk about. Another one is suffering and relying on God's providence, and we're going to be talking with actually my sister Catherine, who just recently had some unexpected surprises and challenges in her just like grad school stuff, and is having to kind of figure out how to navigate things. I'm trying to not give too much away, as I'm being purposely vague, but how she's been relying on God's providence. And then
she's going to share some things about stuff that involve things.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here from. It's going to be an interesting one. Like, I'm looking forward to talking about, because it's like, because we talk a good game a lot of the time, about like relying on God for things, but then when you really are walking down the wire, there is some. It's
a different ball game. So no, it'll be good. We all have to. It's something we can all think about, right?
Yeah.
Another one that we want to talk about. This will be the last one that I will preview. Is broken friendships. When you have friendships that break down, and how do we navigate that? How do we reconcile those kind of unresolved things in our lives with friends? So so I think it's going to be good. A lot of hopefully relatable things, and more, and
more. So we're excited to have you along for the journey. And I'm going to share a God wink today because I have something that is kind of, at the beginning and the end of our seasons, you'll kind of notice how we talk a lot about transitions and beginnings of and ends of things or whatever. So in the past few weeks, I finally have ordered frames for diplomas from degrees.
Oh, that's so fun.
I will show you. I'll put these pictures up on Instagram or something, but so this is my diploma.
So pretty.
For Master of Theological Studies.
Yay.
And so that's the ending of my school, at least for now. And then the beginning is, now this, you're going to laugh, because this diploma has literally been sitting in my closet since 2003 when I graduated from university. So this is my Dalhousie University Bachelor of Science Cooperative Program in Microbiology and Immunology.
Look at you.
Wow.
I know. So I ordered both of those. I did have to physically cut the sides off of my master's diploma to fit it into the frame. But it's okay because you can't tell at all. I'm just hoping that I never will have to open it for any reason. But anyways, but it was just funny because it was like as I was putting those in there, it was like I could just kind of feel God laughing at me, like in a good way, like not God mocking laughing, but just like laughing of like, see, everything wraps up eventually. Like it's been since 2003, it all comes together eventually. So it's sometimes not the way you think it's going to.
Sometimes 20 years later. That's fine.
That's right. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah.
So
that's
that was
cool.
good.
That is good.
Yeah.
All right, dear listeners. Dear listeners.
Yeah.
Dear Abby.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But it was great to just be with each other and just chat. I love your faces, ladies. It's such a gift to even when people, if you send a message to us or share one of our posts or reels or episodes or things like that. We're so grateful for those kind of things. Yeah. And we've had messages. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, we'd love to hear what you guys have been up to for the summer. What's your highs and lows? Shoot us a DM or did I say that right? Shoot us a DM.
Sure. Yes.
All right. You guys don't use social media anymore.
I know, me either, guys. Erin is our like sole contact with the outside world at this point. True. We've just done to
hilarious.
Nicole and I'm just like
virgin who's
seriously,
whose vocation is prayer,
literally, and like. I don't know. I think, Nicole and I've been like, I don't know. I've definitely been like,
it's
okay,
like in grad school tunnels.
That's so funny. It's mostly because I like doing reels. Like I like making them. I find them amusing, and then I go back and laugh at myself. If anyone
is listening that hasn't checked out our Instagram, hasn't checked out Erin's reels, they are so hilarious. I just highly recommend them. They just will brighten up your day. So
okay, that's good. That's true. My mom likes them, so I know.
That's right.
That's right.
Yay! All right. Well, listen, guys. We will see you next week, and next week, just to give you a little preview of what our immediately next episode is going to be, we're going to be talking about finding community and the challenges with that, what it looks like when you move to a new place or you go to a new place, and finding that kind of community that's very necessary for sanity and goodness.
Yes, it is.
It's like a live issue right now for Rachel and probably for me a little bit too. So right?
That's right. Yeah, that's good. So we're looking forward to that. And everybody, you take care in the meantime. Please know we're praying for you. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
God bless you. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of In the Thicket. If you like what you hear, give us a rating and hit that subscribe button. We have new episodes every Monday with more stories and honest conversations about life when the going gets rough and the hope and humor amidst it all. We'd love for you to join our community on Instagram and Facebook at In the Thicket Podcast. While you're there, let us know how we can pray for you. God bless and see you next week.